So let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts, all beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains that let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Please be seated. Chancellor, graduates, guests and members of the university community, good morning and welcome. I'm Bill Patterson, University Secretary and Director of Governance Support. Graduations are one of the university's most important events. This year, the university will hold approximately 50 ceremonies, both in Sydney and in Shanghai. We are also delighted that some of today's graduates who are attending, having previously missed the opportunity to attend a ceremony due to the pandemic. I would like to introduce to you the people who are seated on stage. Seated at the centre of the stage is Ms. Catherine Livingstone, AO, Chancellor of the University, who will preside over this ceremony. The Chancellor is joined today by Professor Vicky Chen, Provost and Senior Vice President, Emeritus Professor Jenny Edwards, who deliver the occasional address, Professor Simon Buckingham-Shum, Director of the Connected Intelligence Centre, who will be presenting graduates, Dr. Eva Cheng, Acting Head of the School of Professional Practice and Leadership, who will also be presenting graduates. The other people seated on stage are Mr. Kurt Cheng, Member of the UTS Council, Chancellor List recipients, professors, academic and professional staff from faculties and institutes who've played such a large part in the success of today's graduates. I would also like to acknowledge a member of staff graduating today, Kais Shi. It now gives me great pleasure to invite Ms. Catherine Livingstone, AO, our Chancellor, to formally open proceedings.
In the name of the Council, I declare this congregation of the University of Technology Sydney duly assembled. And on behalf of the University of Technology Sydney and on behalf of all here this morning, and before we begin proceedings, I would like to acknowledge and pay our respects to the traditional owners of the land on which we meet, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. It's upon their ancestral lands that UTS stands. I'd also like to pay our respects to elders past and present, acknowledging them as the traditional custodians of knowledge for this place. In this graduation ceremony, we will celebrate the conferral of awards upon graduates from the Faculty of Engineering and Information Technology and the Connected Intelligence Centre. Today's ceremony marks a great achievement for the graduates and recognises the support that they have received from family and friends, many of whom are with us here today. So we warmly welcome you as we celebrate the achievements of the graduates. I will now ask the Provost and Senior Vice President, Professor Vicky Chen, to present the graduates named on the Chancellor's list for 2020, 2021 and 2022.
Chancellor, I'd like to ask the Chancellor List recipients to stand. Chancellor, in setting out to identify outstanding PhD theses of each year for the Chancellor's Award, the university realizes that there will be graduates whose work will be worthy of acknowledgement. For this purpose, the Chancellor List was established. Chancellor, in recognition of that outstanding body of work, I present to you the following Chancellor's List recipients who are graduating today.
So on behalf of the Council of the University of Technology, Sydney, I congratulate the Chancellor's List recipients and recognise their achievements in obtaining the award of Doctor of Philosophy, which they have now qualified for.
Chancellor, in recognition of that outstanding body of work, I present to you Dr. Manju Menon from the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences for a thesis entitled Making New Environmental Knowledges, EIAs and Public Hearings on Large Dams in Northeast India, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Professor Devalanlia Ghosh and Co-Supervisor Professor James Goodman. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Manju Menon. Dr. Vanessa Yvonne Ichavira Barzola from the Connected Intelligence Center for a thesis entitled Designing Feedback for Co-Located Teams Using Multimodal Learning Analytics, supported by a supervisory panel that includes Principal Supervisor Professor Simon Buckingham-Shum and Co-Supervisor Dr. Roberto Martinez Maldonado. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Vanessa Ivana Ichavira Barzola. Dr. Eamon McGinn from the UTS Business School for a thesis entitled Voters and Politicians, 3 Papers in Applied Political Economics, supported by a supervisory panel that includes Principal Supervisor, Associate Professor Shiko Maruyama, and Co-Supervisor Dr. Kentaro Tomonia and Professor Peter Siminsky. Chancellor, I present to you Eamon McGinn. Dr. Rachel Coulter from the Faculty of Graduate School of Health for a thesis entitled Economic Impact of Medication Non-Adherence, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Kylie Williams and Co-Supervisor Dr. Victoria Cardenas. Chancellor, I present to you Rachel Coulter. Dr. Shibei Wang from the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences for the thesis entitled Educated Returned Migrants in Rural China, supported by a supervisory panel that includes Principal Supervisor Professor Waning Sun and Co-Supervisor Elizabeth Humphreys. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Shibei Wang. Dr. Montaj Binta Kahili from the Institute of Sustainable Futures for a thesis entitled Women's Role in Adaptation to Climate Change in Bangladesh, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor, Adjunct Associate Professor Brent Jacobs, and Co-Supervisor Dr. Kali McKenna. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Montaj Binta Kahili. Dr. Christine Binley from the Faculty of Health for a thesis entitled Experiences of Social Welfare Policy in the Context of Caring and Bereavement in Western Sydney, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Associate Professor Michelle DiGiacomo and Co-Supervisor Adjunct Associate Professor Joanne Lewis and Professor Joanne Travaglia. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Kristen Binley. Dr. Matilda Keynes from the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences for a thesis entitled From Courtroom to Classroom, Transitional Justice and History Education in Australia, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor, Associate Professor Anna Clark, and Co-Supervisor, Associate Professor Tam Son Peach. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Matilda Keynes. Dr. Jonathan Carson from the UTS Business School. For a thesis entitled Measuring Misconduct in Financial Markets, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Professor Talis Pudman and Co-Supervisor Professor David Michalik. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Jonathan Carson.
I now invite Professor Simon Buckingham-Shum, Director of the Connected Intelligence Centre, to present graduates.
Chancellor, I invite graduates in the Faculty of Engineering and Information Technology and the Connected Intelligence Centre to stand. Chancellor, the UTS Council has resolved that candidates recommended to it by the faculty boards in Engineering and Information Technology and Connected Intelligence as eligible for awards have completed all requirements of a course of study approved by the boards and has conferred these awards upon them. Chancellor, I now present those graduates from the Faculty of Engineering and Information Technology and the Connected Intelligence Centre who are here before you to acknowledge the awards for which they have qualified.
So on behalf of the Council of the University of Technology, Sydney, I congratulate graduates on their achievements in obtaining the awards for which they have now qualified. So many congratulations and well done.
Graduates, please be seated. Chancellor, the Connected Intelligence Centre combines learning science, data science, and artificial intelligence in ethical ways to improve learning and research in higher education. Our doctoral program equips PhD students to work in partnership across diverse UTS contexts to invent, pilot, and evaluate innovative technologies. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate receiving a research degree. The following student has graduated with the Doctor of Philosophy. Sophie Abel, for a thesis entitled Towards Automated Feedback on Students' Research Writing, Theory, Design, and Evaluation, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Associate Professor Kirsty Kitto and Co-Supervisor Professor Simon Buckingham-Shum and Dr. Simon Knight. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Sophie Abel. I now invite Dr. Eva Cheng, Acting Head of School of Professional Practice and Leadership of the Faculty of Engineering and Information Technology, to present graduates.
Chancellor, research degree programs, including PhD and Master by Thesis, are instrumental in helping us to achieve our vision to be a world-leading Faculty of Engineering and Information Technology. In addition to their passion and commitment, our research student cohort contributes innovative and entrepreneurial ideas that advance UTS and the field at large. Chancellor, I present to you graduates receiving research degrees. The following students have graduated with the Doctor of Philosophy. Zainab Khalid Awan, for a thesis entitled Biomedical Information Extraction with Deep Neural Models, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Professor Paul Kennedy and co-supervisors Professor Peter Ralph, Dr. Justin Ashworth, and Dr. Tim Kelke. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Zainab Khalid Awan. Mohammed Awa Azmat Bujawa, for a thesis entitled Enterprise IT Governance for Innovative Software Development Projects, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Adjunct Associate Professor Julia Pryor and Co-Supervisor Adjunct Associate Professor John Leaney. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Mohammed Awa Azmat Bujawa. Conrad Gayan Benedict, for a thesis entitled A DLT Regulatory Control Framework for Decentrally Governed DLT Systems in the Australian Financial System, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Associate Professor Asif Gill and Co-Supervisor Associate Professor Farouk Hussain. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Conrad Gayan Benedict. Xiaoshu Li, for a thesis entitled Advanced Approaches for Bone CT Analysis Based on Deep Learning, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Associate Professor Min Xu and Co-Supervisor Dr. Haimin Zhang. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Xiaoshu Li. Yayong Li, for a thesis entitled Handling Sparse and Noisy Labels in Deep Graph Learning, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Professor Ling Chen and a co-supervisor Distinguished Professor Chengqi Zhang. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Yayong Li. Sanchita Pugalia, for a thesis entitled Overcoming the Glass Ceiling, Disadvantages Faced by Immigrant Women Entrepreneurs in the Technology Sector. Supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Associate Professor Dilek Sachindama Kozanolu and Co-Supervisor Professor Renu Agrawal and Associate Professor Martin Blemel. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Sanchita Pugalia. Sheng Shen, for a thesis entitled Differential Privacy in Reinforcement Learning, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Associate Professor Tanxing Zhu and Co-Supervisor Associate Professor Bo Liu. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Sheng Shen. Kaiser Shi, for a thesis entitled Decision Briefing Generation on Meteorological Social Events, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Dr. Xueping Peng and Co-Supervisor Associate Professor Guodong Long. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Kaiser Shi. Sidra, for a thesis entitled Persuasive Robots, the Role and Effect of Cognition in Persuasive Human-Robot Interaction, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Dr. Jamie Garcia-Marin and Co-Supervisor Dr. Srinivas Madisetti. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Sidra. Carlos Alfredo Tirado Cortez, for a thesis entitled Providing Safer Virtual Reality Experiences with the Help of Brain-Computer Interfaces, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Distinguished Professor Chin Teng Lin and Co-Supervisor Dr. Xiang Tin Chen. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Carlos Alfredo Tirado Cortez. Alimuddin Muhammad, for a thesis entitled Improving Strategic Agility Through Dynamic Cloud Capability, supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Associate Professor Dilek Jetindama Kozanolu and co-supervisors Dr. Osama Sohaib and Emeritus Professor Igor Hereshkovich. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Alimuddin Muhammad. For the Master of Science in Research in Computing Sciences, Anir Adak, for a thesis entitled Analysing Customer Reviews on Food Delivery Services Using Deep Learning and Explainable Artificial Intelligence. Dattatray Vishnu Kut, for a thesis entitled Explainable Deep Learning Approach for Detecting Money Laundering Transactions in Banking Systems. Chancellor, each year UTS recognises a select few undergraduate candidates of exceptional merit. Such candidates are honoured by the award of the University Medal. Chancellor, I now present to you a graduate receiving an undergraduate award and the University Medal in the Faculty of Engineering and Information Technology. The following student has graduated with the Bachelor of Computing Science with Honours, with First Class Honours and University Medal. Brendan Patika. Bachelor of Business with Distinction and Bachelor of Science in Information Technology with Distinction and University Medal, Jaya Armstrong. Chancellor, we will now present to you our coursework graduates receiving awards today.
The following students have graduated with a Master of Animation and Visualization. Isabella Rose Anastasi. Benjamin Buhaina Jane Barlow. William Chidiak. James Lionel Delaney. Natalie Eliza Dreyer. Stephen Forsyth. Jessica Ta Yun Hamley. Jacques William Harries. Brianna Sydney Jackson. Rubina Lucille King. Shin Yi Ong. Lucas John Thompson Moore. James Walsh. James Alexander Weeks. Alexandra Deborah Wegman. Ava Jasmine Williams. Matthew Godfrey. Chihan Kenar. Agape por Umali Marundan. Master of Engineering Management with studies undertaken at the SHU UTS SILC Business School, which was co-founded by Shanghai University and University of Technology Sydney UTS in 1994 by CIC. Qin Sheng Nan. Master of Interaction Design, Shristi Barahi. Dominique Chan. Nadine Nasser Abdul Hafiz Dana. Jacob William Laird. Jana Moiser. Tianyao Zhang. Master of Interaction Design Extension, Lin Zhang. Rajat Mittal. Shubha Ramakrishnan. Jacob Neil Taylor. Julie Vinay Thakur. Bachelor of Computing Science Honours with First Class Honours, Curtis Bayer. Clarence Chong. Maisie Cooper. Lucas Matthew Hahn. Matthew Henry. Manro Chloe Huang. Walden Ip. Wesley Jin. Duk Tien Le. Christian Joshua Lopez. Arun J. Mohindra. Lily Luk Ngo. Huang Long Nguyen. Nam Long Nguyen. Sandy Nguyen. Vaishvi Patil. Jonathan Pham. Harshprit Singh. Cameron Craig Solomon. James Colin Sprague. Vivian Santoso there. Min Tu Ta. Yue Qing Tian. Irvin Villanueva. Qingyue Wang. Bachelor of Computing Science Honours with Second Class Honours Division 1, Rikish Kamboj. Elaine Jessica Lopez. Vincent Hai Ngai. Bachelor of Computing Science Honours with Second Class Honours Division 2, John Macrina. Stefan Popovic. Bachelor of Science Honours in Information Technology with First Class Honours, Zeyang John Zhou. Bachelor of Business with Distinction, Bachelor of Science in Information Technology with Distinction, Victoria Alexis Cheng. Liam Golightly. Vito Alexander Harlianto. Kayla Karagogovsky. Calvin Wen Hao Kwok. Tony Lam. Megan Ivy Lee. Dylan Chan. Livia Rivai. Iram Sheikh. Stephanie Grace Tolentino. Daniel Ton. Devashri Virapan. Nikhil Vishwa. Bachelor of Business with Credit, Bachelor of Science in Information Technology with Distinction, Rebecca Barudi. Jordan Cham. Emiliana Fenech. Dylan Tyler Foster. Tasneem Hussain. Eric Stefan Kanikevich. Louisa Lee. Andrew Liakopoulos. Prince Luong. Tao Le Nguyen. Christina Tasaktoglu. Christopher Vuong. Bachelor of Business with Credit, Bachelor of Science in Information Technology with Credit, Philip Triadophilos Achilleos. Aris Ahmadi. Xian Wen Sami Guan. Kai Chiang Han. Michael Jury. Brady Kempson. Adam Condonis. Eric Nguyen. Ashi Rajesh Parekh. Alyssa Jane Pereno. Andre Peryanitsa. Zach William Scott. Nikki Tao. Sarah Wardock. Angela Jeanette Young. Bachelor of Business, Bachelor of Science in Information Technology with Credit, Reese Alessio Matera. Jeremy Wan. Bachelor of Science in Information Technology with Distinction, Alfred. Kenny Duan. Jie Ying Dong. Aryan Eskandari. Timmy Galja. Shi Fan Gao. Lewis Robert Henderson. Jibrail Hanain. Michael Jiang. Ngot Tan Le. Jackie Lim. Nga Hun Win. Simon An Viet Nguyen. Wei Lin Sun. Christopher Tertis. Tiara Wong. Tho Zin. Bachelor of Science in Information Technology with credit, Keith Hilton Thomas Brown. Kenny Duan. Jessica Ngok Duong. Maria Althea Joyce Herrera. William Mitchell. Michael Morfin. Si Hang Mu. Hao Tian Tang. Biai Phio Zo. Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, Andrew Nicholas Belekas. Tien Dat Bui. Arel Pranta Gomez. Young Ki Kim. Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, Diploma in Information Technology, Professional Practice with Distinction, Ranveer Dogra. Master of Science in Internet Working, Mahesh Gopal Balerao. Bachelor of Computing Science, Honours with Second Class Honours Division 1, Lauren Nakua. Bachelor of Science in Information Technology with Distinction, David Din.
Chancellor, this concludes the presentation of graduates.
So, on behalf of all at UTS, I would again like to say huge congratulations to our new graduates, and just as importantly to your family and friends who have no doubt given a great deal of support, love and understanding during your studies. Finishing a degree or a diploma is a major milestone, and we don't underestimate the hard work, the sacrifice, and all of the effort that you've put into reaching this goal. You should be very proud of what you have achieved because your university is certainly very proud of you. Your graduation, of course, is one of the most important moments in your life and brings with it opportunities and challenges. And the opportunities, I think, have never been greater. Employers certainly hold UTS graduates in very high esteem, not just because of the quality of your education here, but also of its very practical nature. Conversely, the challenges in the workplace have never been greater. Scrutiny and the expectations of society are already high, and they continue to grow. So I would urge you all to maintain the highest level of professional and personal integrity. Confront with courage the inevitable ethical dilemmas as they arise. And remember, it's the behaviour that you walk past which is the behaviour you condone. But beyond the opportunities and challenges, a graduation signals that you have gained new knowledge. Use it wisely and use it responsibly. Make sure that you are seen to contribute, not to take, and that your impact is a positive one. And I say this particularly because you are graduates of a University of Technology, and while technology, as we know, can be an enormous force for good, it may have unintended consequences, so you need to be very alert to those, and even more importantly, alert to those effects which are not benign, even though they are intended. So it's a very important caution. But there will be times, of course, when knowledge alone is not enough, and you will be called upon to make judgments. Now, judgment is informed by experience, and particularly the experience that we gain when we make mistakes. You should never be worried about making mistakes because that's where your greatest learning will occur. Ironically, it's not from successes that we learn, it's from when the things don't go well. That's when we really learn. That learning helps build the reserves of judgment. And my challenge to you all here this morning is to make sure that you make enough space and time to build those reserves of judgment. Turn off the laptop, turn off the iPhone, and just think. Think about the questions that you need to ask, think about the answers you receive, and then think about the judgments you are being called upon to make. And life will be increasingly a series of judgments. But of course, we hope that your relationship with UTS doesn't end here today, and your career will take many paths in many different sectors and no doubt many different geographies. But whatever it does, it will require new and continuous learning, and that's a major focus of UTS now, to support our graduates in their lifelong learning needs. So we now welcome you into that global group of UTS alumni. Stay involved and stay in touch. And remember, the Alumni Office is your lifelong connection to UTS. So may I congratulate you all again and wish you every success in applying the knowledge and the skills that you have acquired in this really world-class institution. So congratulations again. So I now invite the Provost and Senior Vice President, Professor Vicky Chen, to introduce our occasional speaker for this morning.
Chancellor, before I introduce the occasional speaker, I wish to add my congratulations to our new graduates. I welcome them to the greater UTS family, and passing my thanks and gratitude to their family for their critical support throughout their journey at UTS. So thank you so much. Now, our occasional speaker today is Emeritus Professor Jenny Edwards. Jenny Edwards is an Emeritus Professor of Information Technology at UTS. She's a Fellow of the Australian Computer Society, an Australian Teaching and Learning Fellow, and a Fellow of the Computing Research and Education Academy. She's a Senior Visiting Fellow at IBM USA for some 15 years. She received a Social Justice Award and Distinguished Service Award from UTS. She's held various academic positions at UTS from 1976 to 2018, spanning learning and teaching and research in the Faculty of Mathematics and Computing Science, now part of our Faculty of Engineering and IT, and the UTS Business School, and even the Faculty of Law. She's a passionate about women's education. For many years, she was involved in various women in computing groups, obviously a pioneer there, and is still supporting development of women academics throughout Australasia and global initiatives towards the education of girls in developing countries. She's been active in mathematical programming, particularly in parallel algorithms for over 50 years, and her work is used in scientific matrix, routine libraries, and Google back operations. She has been involved in a number of industry agile software and engineering research projects and supervised many theses and research projects across 4 faculties at UTS. For over 30 years, she's been involved in government and university reviews of information technology departments. In retirement, she's still very active in the Australian Computer Society accreditations and advising institutions on IT degrees. I don't call that retirement. For light relief, she participates in many musical groups and activities. It gives me great pleasure to invite Emeritus Professor Jenny Edwards to deliver the occasional address.
Chancellor, Presiding Vice-Chancellor, staff, graduates and your families and friends. I didn't collude with the Vice-Chancellor on my address, but she's stolen all my lines. This is an exciting time to be graduating in information technology. Our former Vice-Chancellor, Professor Attila Brungs, said a few years ago that with today's computers, he could have completed his PhD in chemistry in just 3 months and spent the rest of his time in Oxford enjoying himself, rather than the 3 long years it took him some decades ago. Each of you can expect similar changes during your life. Although artificial intelligence is nearly 70 years old, it has become much more prominent in the last 20 years or so, providing real advances in such diverse fields as cancer treatments and detection of financial fraud. Within the last 6 months, we have seen the rapid rise of one of AI's many applications in the development of ChatGPT and similar chatbots. Debate is raging over whether these are a good thing or not. Over the next few years, it has already affected the working lives of all those sitting on the stage behind me. Over the next few years, it is similarly likely to affect many sitting in the audience, including you, the graduates. Not just the IT graduates, but also today's PhD graduates, who will enter a great variety of professions, such as the humanities, business, sustainability, education, law, and health. You will find that your hard-earned degree is just the beginning. You will have learned how to learn. You can now expect to put that into practice throughout your working life as you strive to keep up with the latest technologies. My favourite animal is the tortoise. The reason for that is that for the tortoise to move, it has to stick its neck out. There will be times in your life when you have to stick your neck out. There will be challenges, and instead of hiding in a shell, you have to go out and meet them. One of the great challenges you are likely to face as you enter the ICT workforce is unethical behaviour. In recent years, just in Australia, we have seen the effect on so many in our society of misconceived programs such as Robodebt. Similarly, IT professionals not installing security patches, not following institutional guidelines on data privacy, or handing over APIs to unauthorised people have opened their organisations' files to hackers, thus leading to the disclosure of millions of ordinary Australians' personal details in the Optus Medibank and Latitude debacles. The law will never catch up to the speed of change in the IT industry, nor are many of the criminals behind such hacks likely to be caught. It will be up to you as IT professionals to do the right thing and speak out when you see others acting inappropriately. Winston Churchill, like the tortoise, believed in sticking his neck out. He said, "Success is never final. Failure is never fatal. It is courage that counts." The measure of success is what you think about what you've done. The way to be happy is to like yourself, and the way to like yourself is to do only things that make you proud. Many of you will have an iPhone or an iPad. When the late Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, was 17, he read a quote saying, "If you live each day as if it were your last, someday you'll most certainly be right." It made an impression on him, and from that time, he looked in the mirror every morning and asked himself, "If today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today?" And whenever the answer was no for too many days in a row, he knew he had to change something. Follow your passion and your heart. You will need to find your passion. You will not find it in things or money, because the more you have, the more you will use that as a measure and would like to get more. The important things are those that fill you from inside. It will be grounded in people and your relationships with them. Look at your peers sitting next to you, your family and friends sitting behind you, and your lecturers on stage. You will never be alone. You will go through times when you feel as if you are alone. No one cares about you, and no one understands what you are going through. If your head is in your tortoise shell, you won't know that you are wrong. These people sitting around you care about you, can relate to your problems, and are there whether you believe it or not. Trust people, go to them. They will listen, and you will not be alone. Get to know your parents while they are still around. Be nice to your siblings. They're your best link to your family and the people most likely to stick with you in the future. Friends come and go, but with a precious few you should hold on, because the older you get, the more you need people who knew you when you were young. Life is not about warming yourself by the fire. It is about building the fire, and generosity is the match. An old Chinese proverb says, "If you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. But if you want happiness for a lifetime, help somebody." Similarly, the Irish have a saying, "Shrouds don't have pockets." In the long term, making friends and bringing peace and happiness to others will stand you in better stead than making fortunes. Congratulations to you all on your achievements to date, but now find something you can be passionate about, stick your neck out, and help it to make your mark on the world. The premiere of a new musical composition, Ngapa William Cooper, was held at the recent Adelaide Festival. Uncle William Cooper was a Yorta man, born in 1861. In the Welcome to Country we heard earlier, we acknowledge the learning and wisdom of Aboriginal elders. At a mission school, Uncle William Cooper did learn to read and write. However, while he did not have the benefits you have had of acquiring knowledge through a university education, He had the wisdom passed down through the ages from his elders. He used this to become a lifelong activist, principally on the part of all Aborigines, but also for other dispossessed people, notably the Jews of Nazi Germany. The last verse of the composition about his life and activism is part of a sequence penned by singer-songwriter Leo, titled "At the End of My Days." At the end of my days, I want to know I spoke up when I saw wrong. At the end of my days, there'll be no doubt I stood up for when I was right. And that courage led the way to the end of my days. May I again add my congratulations to all graduates, especially the medalists and today's PhD graduates, particularly those who have already achieved eminence with a place on the Chancellor's list. You are just at the beginning of your professional lives, but at the end of your days, ensure that you too can be proud of the way you have lived your life. Thank you.
I would like to thank our occasional speaker, Emeritus Professor Jenny Edwards, for the occasional address on this very important day for you as UTS graduates. She's an epitome of the true cross-institutional contribution to UTS, but today she's actually reflected on the critical roles of our graduates in deployment of IT technology in a very disruptive environment. Particularly, our graduates have a very important place to contribute to use of technology for social good and impact, and I particularly appreciated her reflections about the role of integrity and courage in your future careers and lives. And finally, her emphasis on community and people, which is obviously one of the most important things that is part of integral to us as people. So with that, in conclusion, let me say that the best wishes and the pride of the university go with each and every UTS graduates, and congratulations again. Thank you.
Chancellor, guests and graduates, that occasional address concludes the formal proceedings of this ceremony. On behalf of the Chancellor, I invite you to join the official party for refreshments. These will be served in the Great Hall foyer and in the balcony room adjoining this hall. The photography, framing and memorabilia services are located on level 4, which is one floor below us. The academic procession is about to leave the Great Hall. As it does, I invite our new graduates to join the procession, which will end in the balcony room. Would the congregation please rise for the academic procession?